Hey everyone, welcome back. You know I love to dig deep into unique sources, and today's deep dive is just for you.
Go. This is gonna be good.
We're going all the way to the Lahaul region of India. Ever heard of a gore?
I'm not familiar with that one.
It's like a folk song, kind of their way of passing down history through music.
Ah, like a musical time capsule. I like it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this particular Giur tells us about Wazir Ram Snehi. This guy, he was living the high life, let me tell you.
Okay, now I'm intrigued. A high roller from way back when. Tell me more.
Wazir Ram Snehi was a powerful figure in Lahaul. But before we get into all that, let's set the scene a little bit.
Yeah, good idea. Help us understand the world he lived in.
So who was this Wazir Ram Snehi, and why was he such a big deal?
Well, Wazir, that means tax collector.
A tax collector, like the IRS of ancient India.
Haha, kind of. But think more like powerful official. He was high up in the social ladder, living a lavish life in the village of Chumbak.
Okay, so picture it. Lahaul is under the rule of the king of Kulu Valley.
Right, the king was calling the shots over there.
And within that system, you've got influential guys like Ram Snehi. Now, the song tells us that he was on the hunt for brides for his son.
Of course, got to keep the family line going.
But get this, he wasn't just looking at the potential brides themselves. He had a way more, I don't know, a deeper approach.
Deeper how? Was he like a fortune teller or something?
Well, the song goes into detail about Ram Snehi's meticulous journey. He was traveling all across these different villages.
To meet the families, see how the girls were raised.
He was doing that, but he was also carefully observing the environment, the climate of each village. Get this, he believed that geography was super important in shaping a person's character.
Whoa. So where you live determines who you become. That's a new one.
Right. It makes you think about how people viewed the natural world back then. Like, was this common belief, or was Ram Snehi just a bit eccentric?
It's hard to say for sure, but it's a fascinating insight into their mindset. You know, it kind of reminds me of ancient Indian philosophies. They saw this deep connection between humans and nature.
Oh, yeah, like what? Like, there's Ayurveda. You've heard of that?
Vaguely. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a whole system of medicine, right?
Right. And a key part of Ayurveda is this concept of doshas. They're like energies that influence your mental and physical traits.
So you're thinking maybe Ramusai's belief was connected to these doshas, like the climate affects your doshas, which then shapes your personality.
Exactly. It's a really interesting possibility. It's like he was trying to find brides with the perfect dosha balance for his son.
Wow, that's pretty deep. So he's traveling all over, basically looking for the perfect environment that'll produce the perfect brides.
You got it. And the song tells us he finally found a village that caught his eye. It was called Jhunda.
Jhunda. Okay. What was so special about Jhunda?
Well, the Gouda describes it as this beautiful, idyllic place, like tucked away from the main road, almost hidden, lots of natural beauty.
So Ramusai sees this beautiful village, and he's thinking beautiful people, right? It seems that way. It's like he believed the beauty of the surroundings would just naturally make the people who lived there beautiful and virtuous too.
So outer beauty equals inner goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense for the time, I guess. So what happened in Jhunda? Did he find his perfect brides right away?
Well, he found a Brahmin family that he thought would be a great match for his son, but things didn't exactly go as smoothly as he might have hoped.
Oh, what happened?
The family, they were honored, of course. Ramusai was a big deal, but they didn't just say yes right away.
So they were hesitant. Why?
They wanted to do things the right way. The song mentions them consulting their family deity and looking for signs and omens. It's like they needed to be absolutely sure.
Wow, so even though he was a powerful wazir, they still needed to get the okay from the divine. I like that. Respect for tradition.
Right. It shows you how important their beliefs were. But eventually they did agree to the marriage.
And they lived happily ever after.
Not so fast. There was a catch. They said the marriage could only happen after 3 years.
3 years. That's a long engagement. What was the deal with that?
That's what's so intriguing about these gurus. They leave you with more questions than answers sometimes. Was 3 years normal back then? Was it something specific to this family?
Maybe they needed time to prepare, for the wedding, for the bride to get ready for her new life. Who knows?
It's really a mystery. But one thing's for sure, this 3-year wait. It tells us something about their customs and beliefs around marriage.
Absolutely. And speaking of the bride, the song goes on to describe a really touching scene. The bride, her name was Salaki, saying goodbye to her family.
Oh, yeah, that part always gets me. You can really feel the emotion in the gur. Salaki is heartbroken to leave her home. And her parents, they're giving her all this advice about accepting her new family, her duties as a wife.
It must have been tough, leaving everything behind to start a new life.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bittersweet moment for sure. But it tells us a lot about what was expected of women back then. Duty, obedience,
Yeah.
you know.
Absolutely. You can really see the patriarchal structure of their society in this scene. Makes you wonder about Sulaki, how much choice did she really have?
It's a good point. The song celebrates Ramusai in all his power, but it also shows us the lives of everyday people and the rules they had to live by. So the Guru goes on to describe this big, fancy wedding. But then things take a kind of sad turn.
Yeah, kind of a dark cloud after all that celebration.
So what happens to Ramusai? And what about Chembok, that perfect village he found?
Well, the song tells us Ramusai, he lives a long life after his son gets married. Peacefully, it sounds like.
Good for him.
But then, after Ramusai passes away, Chembok, it kind of loses its spark. It falls into ruin, actually. Just fades away.
Well, it's like a whole cycle,
Yeah.
A man rises to power, builds a life, but then it all crumbles.
Yeah.
Makes you think about how temporary everything is.
It's almost like a Greek tragedy, isn't it?
Totally.
Yeah.
But hey, even though Chembok is gone, Ramusai, he's still remembered, right? His legacy lives on.
That's the thing about these gurs. They keep the past alive. The song ends by saying that Ramusai's descendants, they're still around today, carrying his name. It's like the song itself is a monument to him.
It's amazing how this one folk song can tell us so much. The power dynamics, the customs, what they believed about nature, even their emotions, it's all there.
It's like a window into another world. And who knows how many other stories are out there hidden in folk songs all over the planet.
It's mind-blowing, right?
Yeah.
So much history just waiting to be discovered. So we've learned a lot about Wazir Ramusai and life in Lahaul way back when. But what about us? What can we take away from all this?
Well, I think it shows us the power of stories, first of all. Even though Chembok is gone, we still know about Ramusai because of this gur. It's like a reminder to keep telling our own stories.
That's a good point. And I think it also shows how important it is to look at history from different angles. We see
Wow.
Ramusai, this powerful figure, but we also see the bride, her family, the everyday people. Gives us a fuller picture.
Absolutely. And it reminds us that history isn't just in textbooks, it's in the songs we sing, the traditions we keep. We just have to be open to finding it.
And that brings me to a question for you, our listeners. We heard how Ramusai was so careful about choosing a bride based on where she was from, her environment. So let's say it's you. You're looking for a partner today.
Okay, I like where this is going.
What kind of village would you be looking for? What qualities would matter most to you? It's something to think about as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Wazir Ramusai and this incredible gore.
It's a great question. I mean, would it be a bustling city full of energy, a quiet village with strong traditions, so many options?
Exactly. It makes you realize that these ancient stories, they still speak to us today, even in our modern world.
Yeah.
It's been a real pleasure exploring this with you.
Likewise. Always love these deep dives. Always something new to discover.
Until next time, keep exploring. It really makes you think, like how much do we still kind of do that today?
Yeah. Like when people talk about, oh, they're from a small town, or like city people are different.
Totally. It's like a modern version of Ramusai's whole geography personality thing.
For sure. So yeah, listeners, think about that. What village would you choose?
It's a great question to leave everyone with as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Wazir Ramusai and this incredible gur.
I love it. A little food for thought.
It just shows how these old stories can still be so relevant today.
Definitely. They make you think about your own life, your own choices.
Well, it's been an absolute pleasure exploring this with you.
The pleasure was all mine. I always learn so much from these deep dives.
Me too. And to all our listeners out there, thanks for joining us on this journey. Until next time, keep exploring.